Seismic charges. Stand by.
Hey guys, welcome to today's video. What if I told you that Baby Yoda, also known as Grogu, is a pathological narcissist? How would that make you feel? How would it alter your perception of reality? Would it make you think any different of the Star Wars universe and the balance of power within it? Hello, my name is Sean Watson, and I'm a self-taught clinical psychologist. And in recent months, my research has centered around occupants of the Star Wars galaxy. My future goal is to complete my PhD, focusing on the intergenerational trauma from the Battle of Geonosis on Jedi survivors within the Patriarchy arena, and how this led to prolific death stick abuse. But today I want to bring our focus to Grogu, and why I believe he is a pathological narcissist. Season 2 has just wrapped up, and there is no better time now than to get my findings out into the open. Today I will be utilizing best practice psychological tools to identify these narcissistic traits I have observed throughout the Mandalorian series. I have attained a clinically approved list of symptoms of narcissism that I will refer to throughout this video, in sequence with a series of scenes that I have handpicked, wherein which I believe Grogu is displaying traits inherent to pathological narcissism. What is the significance of this, you might ask? Well, I have reason to believe Grogu could potentially follow the same troubled path Anakin Skywalker once took. In episode 1 we can attribute many of Anakin's personality disorders as a consequence of the separation from his mother, and the subsequent fear that separation brought with it. At the end of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 16, we also see Grogu being separated from the parental figure of Din Djarin into the hands of Luke Skywalker. How will Grogu react to this? And will these early signs of narcissism that I have identified set him off on a track Anakin once followed? This scene I'm about to play is one of my first encounters with Grogu's pathological narcissism, a scene in which I believe a demonstrable sense of self-importance and need for excessive attention and admiration is displayed.
Hey, spit that out.
Din Djarin and Quill are engaged in conversation, when suddenly they are interrupted by an onslaught of noise. Din identifies quickly that Grogu is eating a frog-like creature, which from a parental perspective would make one concerned. No parent likes their child eating something unknown that could potentially be poisonous or too large for consumption. Din swiftly tells Grogu to put it down, but instead he ignores him and swiftly gobbles it and laughs after doing so. This was very much a red flag for me because there was a strong sense of self-entitlement on display, which is a key trait inherent to narcissism. But more than that, I get a strong sense that Grogu thinks he is superior, utilizing a laugh that comes across as conceited, boastful, and pretentious. There is no consideration of how Din may feel, or any recognition towards obeying his order. Now, in the early stages of witnessing this frequent narcissistic behavior, it naturally got me thinking as a psychologist as to whether such behavior could be linked to environmental influences such as excessive adoration as a child growing up, or whether he has in the past received excessive criticism that has left him wanting to prove himself to extreme limits. Yet again in Season 1, Episode 4, we witness more of this behavior, but to more excessive extremes.
Stop touching things.
Whilst in flight cruising at a dangerous altitude, Grogu proceeds to press random buttons on the spacecraft's dashboard. Grogu knows that he is not receiving much attention or affirmation to fuel his excessive desire for self-worth. This is very evident through the way he stares at Din while he goes to press the unknown buttons which could bring about unknown and dangerous consequences for them both. I believe Grogu could very much be envious of Din and the highly advanced skills he has developed as an individual. Of course, we know from Season 2 that Grogu is receiving training of some kind at the Jedi Temple, but this was halted due to the formation of the Galactic Empire. Grogu is aware of his physical shortfalls and his lack of power, so he uses intimidation tactics and wants to be seen as superior to those around him to hide his insecurities. Grogu also constantly wants special treatment, and in this scene he is becoming impatient and possibly angry because he isn't receiving any. I would now like to move on to more pathological examples of Grogu's narcissistic behavior that leaves me both as a psychologist and proponent of the Galactic Republic very frightened. During episode 2, season 2, Din escorts a lady and her unborn eggs to her home world, so they can hatch and her kind will not go extinct. During the course of the journey, Grogu takes undivided interest in the growing blue tube of liquid that contains the orange squishy eggs. Without a shadow of a doubt, he knows that these eggs serve an importance to the lady sitting peacefully in the cockpit, but he attempts anyway to pluck the eggs out of the tube and utilize them as sustenance for his own desire and cravings. Grogu clearly believes that he is superior to other inhabitants of the galaxy and will only associate with people that he deems equal to himself. Here he exhibits another symptom of narcissism. He has an inability and unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others, namely the unhatched life forms and the poor mother who has no idea the next generation of her species is slowly but surely being digested in the stomach of a pathological narcissist insistent on having and doing anything he wants. I see this narcissism developing as a result of parental rejection or abandonment. This parental de-evaluation hypothesis states that because of cold and rejecting parents, the child defensively withdraws and comes to believe that it is only himself or herself that can be trusted and relied on and therefore loved. Therefore, they go to extreme limits to attain that sense of self-worth and will gain that self-importance through doing whatever they want and whatever makes them feel happy. Here is another scene again of Grogu putting his own materialistic desires first, and at the detriment of others.
How many orbits are in the Kessels? Do we at least now we can track the path of the orbit here.
Again, when in a classroom environment, relational difficulties are on display. He conveys his desire for a macaroon and the kid says no. Instead of respecting the kid's wishes, Grogu has difficulty regulating his emotions and behavior, expecting special favors without questioning compliance with his expectations, which is a symptom identified under my diagnostic framework. And freak, isn't Grogu like 53 or something? Why does he constantly act like a child? What's up with that, seriously? So what does this all mean for the galaxy's future? At the end of the final episode in Season 2, Grogu is taken by Luke Skywalker to complete further training and unlock his Force abilities. But this comes at the detriment of his father-like relationship with Din, and I believe we're seeing parallels between the journey of Anakin. I think we all know Anakin spiraled into the state of a pathological narcissist desiring to be the most powerful Jedi that ever existed and embracing the darkest aspects of the Force to achieve this goal. An early symptom of narcissism displayed in Episode 3 was his preoccupation with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, perfection combined with the continual fear of losing those closest to him due to the passing of his mother in Episode 2. I believe Anakin's pathological narcissism not only came as a result of abandonment as a child and the separation from his mother to pursue Jedi training, but also because the Jedi Council engaged in what I term as parental over-evaluation, where someone is treated as a special person, provided with a lot of attention, and led by parents to believe he or she is always lovable and totally perfect. Such unrealistic over-evaluation will lead to self-illusions that cannot be sustained in the outer world, galaxy. Of course, we all know members on the Jedi Council use words like the Chosen One very generously around Anakin, and this would have seriously inflated his sense of self-importance and inhibited him from being able to take orders from his master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, in the latter years of his Jedi development. I believe that Anakin's story acts as the cautionary tale for Grogu. Anakin had to leave his mother to pursue training, and Grogu has to leave the father figure in his life, Din. Will this set off his pre-existing narcissistic traits into something associated with the darkest aspects of the Force? Anakin displayed early signs of narcissistic behavior during his younger years at the Boontar Classic pod race.
Just screwy dough pot, Slimo.
Yo can't do man.
And so has Grogu throughout many scenes. Will Grogu follow a path that one cannot follow? Will he bring destruction to the galaxy and follow conceited desires from the dark side of the Force? So there you have it, guys. I firmly believe that Grogu is a pathological narcissist and could seriously be the next Jedi to fall victim to the dark side of the Force and usher in another 50 years of brutal Empire rule within the galaxy. I wanted to get this video out there quickly as a preventative step towards clamping down on any antisocial behavior exhibited by Grogu in future seasons. Let me know what you all think in the comment section below. Please do not comment opinions different from my own or ones that contradict my evidence-based analysis, because I will have you know I am right and seldom wrong. I will see you all in the next video, and remember, be happy.
We lost the transmission, sir.